All right, we're here with the one, the only Matt Weaver of Sportsnaut, short track scene, and whatever else he does.
I got a lot of things coming up.
Yes. Well, first off, welcome to Berlin. You're going to be in this state a lot this coming week with the SRX race tonight, and then the NASCAR weekend in Michigan, and then back here for the Battle of Berlin, and then you're on your way to Knoxville.
Yeah, so between the sweat on my brow notwithstanding, I'll be super honest, the reason why I'm up here in Michigan for the entire week is my way of escaping summer in the Carolinas and back home in Alabama. Our summers are so oppressive, so miserable. It's warm out here, but I can put some sleeves on and I feel pretty cozy. But all joking aside about the weather, the racing culture here in Michigan, and I was in Wisconsin for the ASA race. I'm going to Knoxville for the Knoxville National, so Iowa. The racing culture up here is just so robust, and it's something I love experiencing, the racers and the fans in this part of the country.
Yeah, you talk about a place like Berlin. You've seen this place grow so much, really, since Jeff Striegel came in and took this place over. What's it like to see this place grow for so long these last few years?
Yeah, so my first time here was actually 2015. It had been a while, and I did not make it back up here to Berlin Raceway until this is 2023, so I guess it was 2022 last year. I went a long time between going to Berlin, just because it was so far away from where I've lived. And in the time that I was here, from 2015 to 2022, and now back again this year, I don't know, have you seen the bar and grill up there on
Yes,
Turn
I have,
4?
yes.
Oh my God, it's the coolest facility in motorsports. They've got the hospitality booths, the tower up there. You can do meet and greets, you can do your media stuff, you can have fans, you can have all sorts of amenities. And I think that it's so great for short track racing to have a facility like this that you can do so many different things with.
We got some pretty big short track races coming up. But what do you overall think about the ASA with how that's been going, and they've kind of used the ASA name again, formerly the Midwest Tour and all that stuff. The big ASA Tour, the Midwest Tour, what are your thoughts on how that's been going this year?
Well, I'll answer that kind of in a more holistic sense.
Yeah.
I think right now short track racing has so much potential. I'm not going to trick anyone and say, oh, it's going to be what it was in the 80s and in the 90s. It's a different era. But what I think has been really healthy and really good for the discipline right now is streaming, right? We have Racing America, we have Flow, we have Dirt Vision, we have all these ways to make the races way more accessible than it was, when I was a kid. I could watch a race. I could watch a sprint car race in Australia in December and January. I watch supercars. People think, man, you keep going to all these races. How do you have any free time? And in my free time, I go home, and on weekends after I get done covering a NASCAR race or a short track race, I'll turn on the supercars package, and I'll watch a supercars race at 2 o'clock in the morning. So the fact that we can watch racing from anywhere in the world, and like high quality racing, is the coolest thing to me, and I think create that growth. We've seen Kyle Larson, we've seen Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman, all these guys that want to moonlight in other disciplines. I think that has the potential to make all forms of racing really grow.
You talk about a lot of these programs that have kind of done this, a lot of mentorship programs, like in short track racing, of course, the Quickie Driver Development Program being one. What do you think about that, and how have you kind of seen it grow throughout time?
Yeah, so specifically with the Quickie Cup and everything that TR is doing there, it's just an amazing program, right? Like I have covered so many great short track drivers, many of them who have gone on to like NASCAR National Touring, ARCA Racing, who have in some way gone through that program. And listen, the thing specifically about the Quickie Cup is they're not going to make you a better race car driver in the traditional sense. They're not doing driver development. There's other programs for that. But I think the things that TR values and that program values is how to be an ambassador for the sport. How do you carry yourself in a way that you can grow the industry as a whole in the same spirit as Al and Quickie, right? So when it comes to a program like that, there's another program too, like the PFC, Sponsor Me PFC. It's not totally the same thing, but I love any sort of program that says, listen, we're not going to make you a better race car driver, we're not going to give you data, but we want to make you a better ambassador so you can grow the sport and grow yourself through the sport. And that's what I think programs like that, that's their big value.
Yeah, of course. Let's. I know you just recently worked with Sportsnaut and all that. How have you kind of enjoyed that?
So I've gone through a lot of changes the last couple of years, right? Like I was in Auto Age for 7 years, and I really enjoyed my time there. I had the opportunity to do something a little bit different in Racing America, with them being a broadcaster. They are owned by the NASCAR Cup Series team, the RTA.
Yep.
It was an opportunity for me to grow in the sport and see if I wanted to kind of transition myself more into an official, more into a executive type role. And what I learned in my year and a half that I was at Racing America is I missed traditional journalism. I've always been a guy that obviously has had very strong opinions. I'm a guy that believes strongly in good journalism. I couldn't do that there. I respect tremendously their platform, but I miss journalism. So the last 6 months I've had to like regrow my career. I've been poor as hell the last 6 months, and fortunately you work hard enough, and if you have the relationships that fortunately I've put together, and that anyone who wants to do what I do can do as well, you can kind of regrow that. And so I've had great opportunities at Sportsnaut, Dirt Vision, Short Track Scene, which is my 10-year-old baby, right? That website I've been cultivating for a long time. And so it's been really fun to kind of go back into true media journalism and kind of rediscover my passion for motorsports journalism the past 5 months.
Yeah, for sure. And then just the upcoming NASCAR weekend at Michigan, what are we going to expect? A lot of stories coming from the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series as well, especially with the new winner with Sam Mayer and Xfinity. And then with the Cup playoffs just coming up pretty soon.
So listen, I'm going to get in trouble for this because like I'm a hardcore traditionalist fan, and at my core, but this always ticks off the traditionalist fans when I say this. I love the NASCAR playoffs, and I know that's not a popular opinion amongst my fellow diehards.
Yeah.
I love the drama. I love the resets. I love the way that it makes drivers make those sort of cutthroat decisions, like what Denny Hamlin did to Kyle Larson at Pocono. We're going to see those sorts of ethical considerations for the next 14 weeks. I love this time of year in racing. Listen, we've got some stuff to figure out on the short track side with the Cup car. They're working on it. I want to see that continue to grow. But I think NASCAR right now is in a really good place. I think the racing is really good on the Xfinity side. Trucks are pretty solid. ARCA car counts are growing. We got to figure out the short track stuff on the Cup car. But I'm enjoying my Cup Series stuff right now too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Matt, thank you so much for talking with us, and best of luck and fun. Have fun these next few weeks up here in the Midwest.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me on and giving me the chance to talk about this with your audience.